Many lies lay within the many of you. Some contain truth, some contain trickery. Doubts about yourselves, doubts about your abilities, doubts about society, doubts about mankind. Discovery and disassociation of what is untrue must be done by each one of you as an individual. You all must begin to separate the truths from the lies. It is only when you have separated all truths and lies about who you are, what you're really capable and incapable of, as well as the beliefs you have in all of what you've internalized and made yourself certain of, that confusion will finally leave you. This video will hit home for many of you. This video will cut deep inside the invisible wounds many of you are carrying. This video will cause many of you to think, question yourselves, question others, question experiences from your childhood, and question all things that have been said to you by all others of mankind from the time you were a small child up until today. You may curse me and use tongue-piercing profanity. You may enter into denial and refuse to accept certain parts about yourself. You may unsubscribe from this channel as you feel as though you've heard enough. You may even begin to introspect, as introspection is important. Whatever it is you may choose to do after this video is on you. It is my duty to slowly pull back the curtains from the other side, from the side that has caused many problems to begin with. Let's begin. Childhood is a crucial phase in human development, profoundly influencing an individual's future. During these formative years, the brain undergoes significant growth and development, shaping a person's cognitive abilities, emotional health, social skills, and overall personality. The experiences a child has, the environment they grow up in, and the interactions they encounter play a pivotal role in molding their worldview, behaviors, and relationship patterns throughout their life. Rejection, often subtle and unnoticed by adults, can significantly impact a child's psyche. This rejection might come in various forms: neglect, comparison with siblings or peers, unmet emotional needs, or even excessive criticism. These experiences can embed feelings of inadequacy and low self-worth in a child's mind, which might not be evident to those around them. As a result, the child might develop a skewed worldview, seeing the world as a hostile place where they need to constantly prove their worth. This internalized sense of rejection can manifest in various ways as the child grows. They might become overly people-pleasing, constantly seeking approval from others, or conversely, they might become withdrawn, fearing further rejection. In relationships, they may either cling too tightly for fear of being abandoned or might keep others at a distance to avoid getting hurt. Their behavior can become a reflection of their internal struggle, sometimes aggressive, other times excessively passive. Moreover, their choices in life, from career paths to personal relationships, might be heavily influenced by this deep-seated fear of rejection, leading them to either underachieve or push themselves to unhealthy limits. Rejection, even when unnoticed by those around, can deeply affect a child's worldview and continue to influence their behavior, relationships, and life choices well into adulthood. Childhood rejection can ignite trauma in several profound ways, deeply impacting a child's emotional, psychological, and even physical development. One significant effect in emotional dysregulation, where children struggle to manage their emotions effectively. This struggle often manifests as overwhelming feelings of sadness, anger, or fear, and a lack of skills to healthily process these emotions. As a result, children may experience emotional outbursts, anxiety, depression, or internalize their emotional turmoil. Trust issues and attachment problems are other critical outcomes of childhood rejection. Repeated experiences of rejection can impair a child's ability to form secure attachments, leading to significant trust issues. As these children grow, they might find it hard to believe that others can love or accept them unconditionally. This skepticism often results in unstable relationships in adulthood, characterized by a constant fear of abandonment or a tendency to avoid close relationships altogether. Childhood rejection can also lead to a skewed self-perception and identity issues. Children who feel rejected may internalize the belief that they are inherently unworthy or flawed. This negative self-image can persist into adulthood, influencing their choices, behaviors, and the way they interact with the world. It can lead to underachievement due to low self-esteem or overcompensation in various aspects of life, as they continually strive to prove their worth. Furthermore, children who experience rejection are at a higher risk of developing mental health disorders. The trauma of feeling unloved or unwanted can contribute to the development of conditions like depression, anxiety disorders, and personality disorders. These mental health challenges can have a far-reaching impact on their quality of life, relationships, and overall well-being. Lastly, the physical implications of such trauma should not be overlooked. Chronic stress from emotional trauma can lead to physical health issues, including sleep disturbances, weakened immune response, and even long-term conditions like heart disease or diabetes. In conclusion, childhood rejection is not just an emotional hurdle. It can lead to a cascade of psychological, emotional, and physical consequences that shape a person's life and well into adulthood. Recognizing and addressing these issues early is crucial for the well-being and healthy development of affected individuals. When a child witnesses a parent engaging in intimate or sexual activities with a non-biological parent, it can introduce complex feelings of rejection, leading to resentment and even hatred, particularly in the context of blended families or after the loss of separation of biological parents. This response is often rooted in a deep sense of possessiveness and a child's innate desire for exclusivity with their biological parent. The child might perceive the new partner as an intruder, encroaching on the sacred bond they share with their biological parent. This perception can be exacerbated if the child feels that the new relationship is taking away the attention, love, or time they previously received exclusively from their parent. The introduction of a new romantic partner into the family dynamic can be particularly challenging for children who are still processing feelings of loss or abandonment following parental separation, divorce, or death. In these cases, the child might view the parent's new relationship as a betrayal or as diminishing the importance of the biological parent who is no longer present. This can lead to feelings of rejection, as the child might interpret the new relationship as a sign that their needs and emotions are being overlooked or that their place in the parent's life is being supplanted. This sense of rejection can manifest as resentment towards the new partner and even towards the parent. The child may feel that their once secure and exclusive relationship with their biological parent is being threatened, leading to feelings of jealousy and competition. These emotions can evolve into deep-seated hatred if not addressed, as the child struggles with feelings of being replaced or marginalized within their own family unit. When a child experiences feelings of rejection and resentment due to a parent's relationship with a new partner, it can significantly affect their view and interactions with the specific gender of that biological parent. This impact is often profound and multifaceted, shaping the child's future relationships and perceptions of that gender. For instance, if the biological parent in question is the father and he becomes involved with a new partner, a son or daughter may develop skewed perceptions of men based on their feelings towards their father's actions. They might start associating men with feelings of betrayal, unreliability, or emotional unavailability. This can lead to difficulties in trusting men in their future relationships, whether in platonic, professional, or romantic contexts. Sons might struggle with forming a healthy masculine identity, potentially either rejecting traits they associate with their father or overcompensating in certain behaviors to distance themselves from his example. Daughters, on the other hand, might become wary of men, fearing abandonment or betrayal in romantic relationships, often projecting their unresolved feelings about their father onto other male figures in their lives. Similarly, if the biological parent is the mother, her relationship with the new partner can deeply influence her child's perception of women. The child may develop a narrative where women are seen as the cause of familial disruption or emotional pain. This can manifest in future relationships, with the child either being overly cautious and distrusting of women or seeking out relationships that unconsciously echo the dynamics they observed in their mother's relationship. For sons, this might translate into challenges in forming secure, respectful relationships with women, often colored by the fear of emotional hurt or abandonment. Daughters might find themselves in a complex position, identifying with their mother yet also resenting her choices, leading to conflicted feelings about feminine roles in relationships. These effects are not just limited to romantic relationships. They can spill over into friendships, professional relationships, and even the parenting styles adopted by these children when they become adults. The underlying feelings of rejection and resentment can lead to a general wariness or bias towards the specific gender of the biological parent, influencing how they interact with, trust, and perceive individuals of that gender. In situations where a child feels rejected due to a parent's relationship with a new partner, there is a potential for the development of misogyny or misandry as the child grows older. This outcome is rooted in how the child interprets and internalizes their experiences and feelings towards the parent and their new partner. If, for instance, the child perceives their mother's involvement with a new partner as a form of betrayal or as the cause of familial disruption, this may sow seeds of misogyny. The child may generalize their negative feelings towards their mother to women as a whole. This can manifest in various ways, such as an inherent distrust of women, harboring sexist attitudes, or displaying behaviors that are dismissive or derogatory towards women. These attitudes can be reinforced if the child's environment or societal influence echoes similar sentiments, further entrenching these beliefs. Conversely, if the child feels abandoned or replaced by their father's new relationship, this could lead to misandry, a deep-seated distrust or hatred towards men. The child might associate men with negative traits they perceived in their father, such as disloyalty, emotional neglect, or selfishness. This can influence how they interact with men in their lives, potentially leading to generalized hostility, fear, or avoidance of close relationships with men. These attitudes are often a defense mechanism stemming from the child's hurt and a desire to protect themselves from future emotional pain. However, they can have far-reaching implications on the child's ability to form healthy, respectful, and fulfilling relationships in adulthood. Misogyny or misandry not only affects romantic relationships, but can also impact professional interactions, friendships, and the overall well-being of the individual. Consistent feelings of rejection and childhood trauma can have profound biological effects on a child's developing brain. The brain is highly plastic during childhood, meaning it is shaped significantly by experiences. When a child is exposed to repeated stressors like rejection and trauma, it can lead to several key changes in brain development and functioning. The first change is stress response system. One of the most significant impacts is on the child's stress response system, particularly the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, otherwise known as HPA. This system regulates the body's response to stress. Repeated trauma can lead to hyperactivation of this system, causing an overproduction of stress hormones like cortisol. Chronic exposure to high cortisol levels can impair brain development, particularly in areas responsible for emotional regulation and memory, such as the hippocampus. The second change that would take place would be brain structure and function. Prolonged exposure to trauma and rejection can lead to structural changes in the brain. The amygdala, a region involved in emotional processing, particularly fear and threat detection, can become hyperactive and hypersensitive, making the child more reactive to perceived threats and potentially leading to anxiety and mood disorders. At the same time, the hippocampus, vital for learning and memory, can become smaller and less effective, impacting the child's cognitive abilities and stress regulation. The third change that would take place would be the child's neuroconnectivity. Trauma can affect the way different parts of the brain connect and communicate with each other. There can be a disruption in the connectivity between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, the region involved in higher order functions like decision-making, impulse control, and regulation of emotions. This can lead to difficulties in managing emotions, making reasoned decisions, and controlling impulses. The fourth change that would take place would be the child's neurotransmitter systems. Traumatic experiences and chronic stress can alter the balance of neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers in the brain. For example, there can be changes in the levels of serotonin and dopamine, which are crucial for mood regulation and the feeling of pleasure, respectively. These imbalances can increase the risk of developing psychiatric disorders like depression and anxiety. The fifth and final change that would take place in the child's brain would be the neuroendocrine changes. Besides the overproduction of cortisol, there may also be alterations in other neuroendocrine systems impacting growth, metabolism, and immune function. These changes can have broader health implications, increasing the risk of various physical illnesses. In conclusion, consistent feelings of rejection and childhood trauma can significantly impact the developing brain, leading to changes in stress response, brain structure and function, neuroconnectivity, neurotransmitter systems, and neuroendocrine function. These changes can have long-lasting effects on the child's emotional, cognitive, behavioral, and physical health. There are many human beings who carry the demonic spirit of rejection and are unaware of this demon that has made themselves a home on the inside of this person. This demon is a demon that numbers in the many, and it has also disseminated across this entire world. I told you all that Satan likes to front-run God, and that's exactly what he still does today. Satan likes to start early, and he cares not if you're being raised by a man or woman of God in the home you're growing up in. Knowing the word of God isn't enough anyways. Applied knowledge is key. There are 6 signs that I must give you all, so that you may be able to identify this demonic spirit. You may be wondering why I'm giving you all the tools to defeat this demonic spirit. I have handed you no tools whatsoever. I have properly identified and carefully explained in detail, both scientifically and spiritually as I will now, how this problem arises in a child's life and how it affects them in adulthood. If you are in search of tools to rid yourself of this demonic spirit, you must speak with the ruler of the servants of whom I oppose. Satan will never cast out a demon he has sent into your life. Here are the signs. The first sign would be they are easily offended. Since this demonic spirit has many spirits hanging on to its coattails, the main one is the spirit of offense. This demon, who works hand in hand with the spirit of rejection, causes a human to take the slightest offense at every little thing that happens to them or around them. Sometimes the humans who carry this spirit may have an unjustified disapproval, disliking, distaste, and dissatisfaction for everything they see and hear about in their lives. They perceive almost everything as disrespect. The second sign would be wrathfulness. One of mankind who carries the spirit of rejection may also experience daily increases of seething rage. Remember what I told you all in past videos. Demons never travel alone. They always travel in groups. The reason why many human beings who carry the spirit of rejection and wrath are always on the verge of an aggressive outburst or physical violence is that they have a lack of love on the inside of their heart, which in turn has made them cold-hearted. The third sign would be they are dangerously unpredictable. The human being who carries this spirit will also present more than one personality, as well as varying degrees of passion and desire towards both other human beings and various personal pursuits. The reason why they're like this is because the spirit of rejection has caused them to experience pain and punishment for being themselves as a child. So, this leads to the child as they grow to adopt multiple personalities that can be accepted by multiple other people in various settings. This type of demon lies to the human, telling them they'll never experience rejection again, but this is a lie. All this demon did was open a door for more demons to enter this human's body. Remember this always, folks. Different personality, different demonic spirit. Same personality, consistency of character. The fourth sign would be spitefulness. Although I was always aware, I know fully that there is no love in the heart of Satan. Satan can be as straightforward as anyone else. He can also go the extra mile if he so chooses, but only a fool would ever believe that he's doing this out of love. He desires for mankind to be just like him as well, completely separated from the love of God and love for one another. Those of mankind who carry the spirit of rejection are usually secretly spiteful. They're spiteful towards others because they've experienced this type of pain and are falsely using this pain as a deceptive form of power and defense mechanism. None of you are to engage with these types of individuals. They cannot be trusted. Human beings who are like this are venomous, vicious, snide, nasty, cruel, and unfriendly. I've also been able to identify that these types of individuals are usually talebearers as well. They bring nothing but poison and division wherever they go. If you reject someone like this in any way, you may become the victim of slander, but do not fear them. The fifth sign of a person who carries the spirit of rejection would be them being evil intentioned. Those of mankind who carry the demonic spirit of rejection can also become evil intentioned. I have been able to effectively identify through time of observing this demonic spirit how they practically never have any good intentions for anyone. This includes both family and friends. This type of person will go from praising you in front of your face to tearing you down and maliciously plotting behind your back. Rejection can potentially lead to the development of evil intentions in some individuals as a response to the deep emotional pain and anger they experience. When a person feels consistently rejected, it can breed feelings of bitterness, resentment, and a desire for retribution. This is especially true if the rejection is perceived as unjust or as a reflection of one's worthlessness. Over time, these negative emotions can fester, leading the individual to harbor hostile or vengeful thoughts towards those they believe have wronged them. This transition to malevolent intentions can be seen as a form of self-protection or a way to regain control and power in a situation where they feel powerless. In extreme cases, this mindset can manifest in harmful behaviors directed at others or society as the individual seeks to externalize their inner turmoil and hurt. The sixth and final sign that one carries the spirit of rejection is consistently internally feeling sad and fearful. The spirit of rejection can lead to feelings of sadness and fear due to its impact on one's self-esteem and sense of security. When a person faces rejection, it often triggers feelings of worthlessness and inadequacy, causing profound sadness. This emotional pain can be particularly intense if the rejection is from a significant other or within a close relationship. Additionally, repeated experiences of rejection can instill a sense of fear about future social interactions or relationships. This fear often stems from the anticipation of further rejection and the emotional pain that might follow, leading to anxiety and a reluctance to engage in situations where there's a risk of being rejected again. Thus, rejection not only causes immediate hurt, but can also have a lasting impact on a person's emotional well-being and social behavior. You see, people, this demon keeps humans in a perpetual cycle of spiritual and emotional stagnation. They truly never grow up. So, because they're constantly being weighed down by the chains of their past, they never truly grow into who it is they were destined to become.